My upload for this morning is with regard to the standards of play in this entire debacle with regard to the property theft of my creative and intellectual work, my wealth, and my profession and my farm holdings. Now, I find it quite serious that 5 or 6 years on, since computer aided design developments in this community started causing bother to my body as a new mother, the issue of the individuals that are still causing bodily integrity damages to this day and that are violating the human right to faith, family, religion, spirituality, correspondence, the right to own your home, the right to your family, the right to your privacy, the right to your personal information. All of these matters are being blatantly violated, and having worked, as I've mentioned, as a teacher since 2003, I'm really concerned about the standards and the example being set to young people. So, as a married mother who's experiencing a lot of unlawful actions, a lot of misrepresentation of my status, as a married mom, as a woman of a very clean track record, I'm really concerned about what the representation is sending out to the youth of today. So it's not acceptable for any professionals, practitioners, policymakers, etc., 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 to espouse one philosophy from the pulpit and then, as I describe it, or as I have encountered it, as going behind the altar to dirty their hands. So this is what's happening. They're preaching from the pulpit, they're going behind the altar, and they're doing the dirty. And it's sending out a really bad example to young people. So my matrimony of 2015, it's being disrespected, and my current abode is being intruded upon, and I'm experiencing treason. Now, I hope the ladies of Doyle are aware of how challenging it is being a teacher in many respects. There's many facets to education, and I represent one or two, and they're challenging roles. So the individuals that are playing judge on this situation by the most unethical and immoral means, intruding upon a person's private space and defaming a person's good character, that is having the most intolerable circumstances being presented unlawfully and without any justification, is really it's not showing an evolved mentality to young people. And this issue of my identity, my position, my role, my function, my achievements, my accomplishments, the entire lot, all being disrespected simply due to individuals' acquisitions and their desire to become what they haven't any entitlement to, is really disrespecting the accomplishment of a person's purpose. Now, my purpose has been functioning positively until 2018, 2017, when I was intruded upon in the most heinous way as a new mom. And the really sad aspect of this is that the protection proximity procedures were not respected, and they're still not being respected. So I've had several efforts of communication with the honourable government, and it has not fulfilled its obligations to my function, role and title and position in society. And as I have a clean track record, and as I have been working for the betterment of society, I'm really concerned about what the ladies of Doyle feel about women and children's rights in this situation. It's really quite serious when a woman's matrimony is disrespected and the family unit, which is the cornerstone of society, is being disrespected. It's really sad, sad for the family unit to be damaged in any sense or any respect so needlessly and so thoughtlessly and so carelessly. So people's acquisitions, their avarice, etc., and their hypocrisy and their intrusion upon people's privacy to satisfy their greed isn't sending out a very evolved mentality. So, in this entire situation for the past 6 years, there's been a few different storylines, but the truth has not been addressed. And that's really serious. So, that's showing young people a bad example. And I have concerns about that with regard to being an educator and the issue of people stepping over the line and disrespecting the source of good work. I take awful exception to this matter when I'm tolerating people in my proximity that are not legally entitled to be in my proximity. So, as there's been legislation from my work, and as I have a clean track record, and as I'm a property owner, and as I'm a married mother, and as I've worked for 3 state departments, I'm really concerned about how the United Nations feels about this. The United Nations has heard from me since 2019, and my home country has disrespected my family. So my home country has not provided or sustained or maintained as it should. So I find that really disappointing. And as my character is being slandered, that's not showing young people a very good example about how to treat others. So when people feel that they can overlook and overstep, it's sending out a really poor example to people, and young people in particular. So I'd appreciate the United Nations understanding the dangers of this entire situation up to the present date, the medical negligence, even the medical care that's been withheld from me, and the violations of my bodily integrity that have been occurring. And computer aided design since 2016 to be conducted illegally on my body. They're all very serious matters, and my child unlawfully from me. So I'd appreciate a bit of courage and bravery. I represent strength, courage, serenity, and wisdom since 2006, and I'd appreciate honourability having a priority in this situation. My work has been quite challenging, but successful, and I don't appreciate people disrespecting anybody's good work. It's not very considerate, it's not very pleasant. And people disrespecting proximity and protection, all those matters. These are all very serious issues. So when people are preaching from the pulpit, I hope they're washing their hands nice and clean behind the altar as well, due to the hypocrisy that's going on in this situation. It's a sad sign of the times. So those individuals that are imposing upon my purpose, profession, and my privacy, and taking ownership of what they don't own in this town. It's the southwest of Ireland, and there are individuals that have no ownership of my patronage or anything that has originated with me since 2018. And this issue isn't just about my farms. It's not just about my child. There are other matters that people are laying claim to that they have no right to. So I would really be appreciative of the United Nations to address these personally with me due to the individuals that are obstructing and perverting the course of justice. And with regard to the truth and justice, I hope honourability is also playing a role, and especially with regard to women and children's rights. So there are problems in Tralee County Kerry with individuals of continued efforts of financial property, creative intellectual theft and fraud. There are individuals laying claim to ownership of Marie McElligot's patronage that they have no right to. And it's a sad sign of the times when my home country is presenting these circumstances to me, needlessly, just due to individuals' avarice and inhumanity. My child has been treated inhumanely. And I'm a teacher with a clean track record and a very clean conscience. And individuals that have to resort to base behaviours are not setting a very high standard of calibre or of character or professionalism. So as a professional property owner, I'd really appreciate the United Nations addressing this personally with me due to the relevant bodies that haven't been fulfilling their functions dutifully as they should have been since 2017. So there's reparations, there's amends since 2006, etc., etc., etc. And there are individuals exacerbating their offences. And as sanity and sobriety is my objective for the betterment of society, I find it quite exceptional that any professional individuals would be supporting any further insane, discourteous behaviour that disrespects humanity and the progress of humanity. So this is for the interest of the United Nations with regard to the incessant offences that I'm experiencing, and people disregarding the good work as of 2018, the coronavirus, COVID-19, all of that has originated in Tralee, County Kerry. I'd appreciate the United Nations contacting me personally due to the offenders in this debacle that are just being irresponsible with women and children's rights and property rights in every respect.